Hello friends. Today's title is, Am I the a-hole for kicking out my boyfriend and his daughter after she used my photos for her scrapbook? I started seeing a guy roughly a year and a half ago. He has a 9 years old, almost 10, daughter named Chrissy. I have an 11 years old son as well. We met each other's kids 3 months back and last month they started having weekend visits here. It's been a super hard adjustment for me especially. The kids get along for the most part, but I'm just having a really hard time. My son has always been a fairly good kid and hardly ever given me issues. He never drew on walls or broke anything of importance or talked back, aside from occasionally. Obviously, no kid is perfect, and he was always super quick to ask permission to touch my stuff. I personally think I lucked out and I knew that not all kids were as well behaved as my child, but I wasn't ready, I don't think. I'm just overwhelmed. So, since she has been doing weekend visits here, she stays in my guest room. She has destroyed a lot. Rips holes in the mattress and then says they were already there, they weren't, draws on the walls and windowsill with makeup and marker. She even takes my new feminine pads to her room and will cut them up. She put a hole in my wall and said it was already there. I can buy a brand new shampoo and conditioner and it's 100% gone and in the trash by the end of her shower, which lasts 45 minutes every single time. She stomps her feet and slams doors when we have to speak to her and knocks things off the walls. She is generally a good kid, but she is so destructive. What really set me off was her coming here this weekend with her dad. My son was at his father's, and I was called into the office to do a signing which would only take roughly an hour max. So I left them here without me. Well, when I got back she was sitting at the kitchen table with all my photo albums laying in front of her, cutting out the faces and everything else on these photos and gluing them to her scrapbook. Photos that I cannot get back, as they were printed out years ago when I was in foster care and those were the only copies I had. Photos of my dead friend as well. I went to my boyfriend, who was on the phone outdoors and told him they needed to leave, explained the situation and told him I was done. Those photos, as stupid as it may be, were a huge part of my childhood and now they are destroyed. I told him I was done speaking to him about his daughter destroying my things and it was time to go. He thinks I'm in a hole for throwing a year and a half down the drain over some pictures. Am I? Now for the top comments. First comment is, not the a-hole. It wasn't over pictures, is he stupid? It's about the disrespect he's been allowing to happen and that was the last straw for you. Honestly, good kids don't do that stuff. If any of my stepkids did those things I'd have done the same as you. It's just plain rude. Edit to say, I've read this 3 times and it's annoyed me more and more on your behalf. Second comment is, seriously. At this point she should dump this guy, not because of what his daughter is doing, but because he's obviously in a hole. At some point it's just not worth educating someone this dense. OP, it sucks. But this guy has made it clear his daughter's completely inexcusable behavior will always be more important than showing you basic respect and consideration. I don't think there's anything left for you here.